Hello, beautiful soul. My name is Angie Viets, and I'm a clinical psychotherapist specializing in eating disorder treatment. And a couple weeks ago, I asked if you guys would be willing to share with me via email confidentially many of the ways that you feel like you're getting stuck in your recovery process. And what came back to me was consistently this theme regarding fear, this fear of change, fear of what your body is going to be like once you're recovered, fear of really getting out of the routine of the eating disorder, because so often, as I recall, the eating disorder becomes the one safe place. And I think that it really resonated for me because I know in my clinical practice, fear is what I'm greeted with so often when a client sits down to talk with me. There is so much fear around change. And I intimately understand that, not only from going through the recovery process and becoming recovered, but also just in any time we make a choice to grow and expand and stretch ourselves in a way that is new and foreign, so much fear comes up. Our resistance to change, our resistance to the unknown. And a long time ago, as I was sitting with my own therapist, I recall a conversation about the unknown and the idea that if you are going to live a full life, you have to cozy up to the unknown, that just is part of really living your most full life. And so now I really greet fear. I see it as an opportunity. And I remember that all the times I was fearful in the past, how I've resolved those issues and how they turned out. And so I would urge you to think about a time in the past where you were fearful, whether that was going into a new class and you didn't know anybody, or starting a new job, or entering into a new relationship. All the fear and anxiety that comes up is really just normal. And to normalize that and to know that everybody feels that way. Everybody feels that way. It's scary. And to really imagine just embracing fear as if it were a person and say, I see you. I recognize that you're scared and I'm here with you. That is the best way in my mind to, instead of shoving the fear away, just invite it in. I see you. I know that you're here. I know that you're scared, and we're going to do this together, just a little bit at a time. I think the more we avoid the things that we fear, the more we start to get kind of smaller and smaller in a life that really is not what was intended for us. So the more you can expand and greet the fear as though it were a guest that you were trying to calm down. You know, imagine a small child who was scared of sleeping in the dark. How would you approach that child? Would you say, yes, you absolutely should be scared. Let's stay up all night and make sure nothing bad happens? No, you would try to comfort them and say, here's some little things we're going to do. We're going to turn on a nightlight. We're going to leave your door open, and just know that I'm right down the hall. So we would provide a little bit of comfort and reassurance, and find ways that you can provide comfort and reassurance to the part of you that's scared, because that's just one part. Really tap into the wise and nurturing part of yourself that knows that you've handled many scary things up until now, and that you've overcome them and they're not so scary anymore. So that to me is our way to invite the fear in, accept it as part of the process, and remembering that any of us who are recovered at this point, we've had to greet the fear. We've had to sit with it, even when it makes our stomach hurt or our hands shake, or that feeling like you just want to hide under the covers. We've all had that feeling. And just breathing through it and kind of riding those waves and just taking the next small step, even before you're ready. That's just the way to keep bumping up against it, finding a new edge, and getting more comfortable in the process to, step towards recovery. So think about fear as a guest, fear as somebody that you want to comfort and reassure, and see if that helps guide you in the next decision you're making towards your recovery. I'm wishing you the best, and thank you for those of you that responded. Your responses were beautiful, and I read them all, and I hear you, and I want to continue to show up for you, even though it may be scary for me, to remind you that full recovery is possible and to cheer you along and encourage you. So take good care, and I'll talk to you soon.